Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with Haynes King. Questions for Haynes? Rob?
Coach talked yesterday about their defense and all the different things they'd like to do. What did you see from the film, and what are you looking for from them?
They're a really good coach team. They play hard, play physical, fast, run to the ball. They're smart. They don't bust a lot and play sound defense. So we're going in this game knowing it's going to be a four-quarter tough game. So.
Chad?
Thanks. We talked about explosives yesterday. Just how important is that to this offense, getting those explosive plays?
Oh, for sure. It's extremely important. Moving the sticks, and then now, we hit an explosive. We can change the tempo, whether it's going really, really fast or huddling and try to get them in a bad situation, misaligned and stuff like that. So it's very important in what we do.
Haynes, your coach talked about kind of just the mood, obviously, in practice. Just what have you seen from the players? It looks like everybody's locked in and focused on this game, not taking this opponent lightly. But just your thoughts, just on how practice has been going, obviously, in preparation for this matchup.
I mean, like he said, I feel like everybody's locked in. Having a couple of good practices this week, and the big message of this week is trying to bring our own juice. Create our own juice, come out with high energy and effort, and running to the ball and chasing it and stuff like that.
Alex?
Seemed like the first two games you played, you took a lot of hits, and last week it's a little lighter. What's it like to have a game where you can kind of depend more on the running backs for the running game and kind of keep you a little less banged up, I guess?
I mean, to me, it's about the same, whatever it takes to win. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not a big stat guy and never really have been. Only one that matters to me is that the win-loss column and then the turnovers. If we control those, then we'll be all good.
Question for you, Haynes. You've been pretty close on hitting on some of those obviously big explosive plays we talked about yesterday, but just right out of the reach, or just maybe a drop or anything like that with Rivers and some of the receivers. Just how do you guys kind of, I guess, overcome that and be able to hit more of the explosives?
Well, we know the game of football it's a game of inches. Things like that happen. Sometimes you connect, sometimes you don't. But you can't be too high or too low. Can't let it affect the next play. We just got to go on and keep operating and executing.
Haynes, you've been swamped with interview requests and all that type of thing. Does that distract you at all from what you're trying to do during the week in preparing for a game?
Honestly, not too bad. Mike and his team do a really good job of communicating and setting certain times up, certain windows up for that to happen. And then I don't really miss anything time-wise, watching film and stuff like that. So I necessarily haven't had to cram or anything. Like I said, they've done a really good job of communicating that aspect of that with me.
Obviously, a couple of years ago, but probably seems like 30 years ago, we played a game up there. Just how far have you come since then? How far has this program and this team come since that game at Wake in 23?
I mean, it's came a long ways. Just even like our identity. That first year we were almost, we thought we had it, but we were still trying to find it necessarily. But even that game, it was a tough, fought-out game, four-quarter game. We knew that they're going to play really, really good on defense. I haven't seen a whole lot of their offense. Don't study them, but this team has matured a whole lot, and just to see that change from year one to now year three.
Coach Key talked yesterday about kind of craving this kind of environment Georgia Tech's in now, being in big spots and, a lot of, like you said, media requests, interviews. Just he talked about pressure being a privilege. Just talk about that kind of being in those big spots, this program, kind of how far that's come in the last couple of years.
I mean, pressure is definitely a privilege. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted as a team. And this is also kind of what comes with it, So I feel like we prepared enough to handle these situations. And we can't just let up and, okay, we arrived, we're ranked now, we're playing good, we're 4-0, stuff like that. Like we got to still press the issue and do what we're supposed to do, because that's our standard.
Where is the offensive playbook right now in terms of, are you guys still skimming the surface? Is it fully wide open? Are you still installing things? Where are you in that process?
A little bit of everything, honestly. We got all our base stuff in, and then, you can hide it and run the same stuff, showing different formations and motions, stuff like that. But, we're also, still improving and still installing stuff. And it's also week to week, we might see a look and, really like this play or this look. So, like I said, it's kind of all over the place, but, I feel like we do a really good job of carrying over meetings to the practice field and practice field to game days.
Rob, if you want to wrap us up with things.
Looking at the offensive line and defense is starting to throw some blitz packages against you guys. How are they dealing with that, and how are they improving, and picking up those blitzes?
Oh, for sure, they're improving game by game. The more that those guys play together, the better they're going to be, because that's a communication aspect of it. When you get a group of guys that's played a while and played a while together, that's just the communication aspect. They know, where to be, when to be, stuff like that. But so far they've done a really good job of doing that, and like I said earlier, like carrying over meetings to walk through to practice and practice to the games.
Good deal.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.